welcome back to CoshoctonCountySports.com's Sports Zone Sports Show. This week, we're being sponsored by the Army National Guard, and we are joined by one of the recruiters in our area, Sergeant First Class Nicholas Damon, and he's going to be talking to us a little bit about the Army National Guard. There's been some big news about the Guard here in our area. We'll get to that in just a few moments. First, I want to talk about this whole, I guess for lack of a better word, sort of initiative that the Army National Guard has about putting community first. You were talking to us a little bit before we got on camera about how this is the only service branch that is based primarily in the United States. Can you give us a little bit more of a description of what the whole community and putting all that extra emphasis on the community is all about?
Well, as far as the National Guard, if you go back to when the first settlers came back in the history, we were considered the militias. Throughout the years, the name was changed to the National Guard, and what it was the people in their hometowns were taking care of one another. And throughout the years, and as the National Guard has grown through the entire country, we are spread among each state. National Guard is a whole. Each state is separate. But what we do is take care of our people here at home first. Our main mission is to stay within our communities, stay within the country, help out for natural disasters, riots, anything that we can do to help our own country. And then on top of that, if needed, we expand out and we go overseas and we help out with the rest of the branches and take care of everybody that way as well.
So it seems that you guys are kind of the jack of all trades, so to speak, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, what around this area, around Coshocton County, have you had a whole lot of work to do with the National Guard? I mean, I know we're not necessarily a natural disaster area where there's a lot of flooding or anything like that, but do they keep you busy around this area?
Oh, they do keep us busy. And in this area, we haven't ever been called to do anything, but throughout the state of Ohio, many of the different units have been called up. 2004, we were called down to Belmont County. They had the Ohio River flooded. Mm-hmm. We went down there, up north Toledo area. They were called up there a couple years ago, dealing with snow removal because all the snow and stuff they had. And there's been various other things that we've been called to just to help out within the state. So
for the most part, you guys really stay in Ohio. Maybe when a disaster like Katrina comes around, will you guys be called down to New Orleans?
Yes, the 1485th Transportation Unit that also flags out of the Coshocton Armory up here. Last year during Hurricane Gustav, they were called up and they sent right around 200 soldiers, I believe, down to Hurricane Gustav and helped them out during that time.
Well, and luckily, we don't have any sort of natural disasters like that around this area, but you guys are always ready if the need should arise.
Yes, we get a phone call, and normally within 24 hours we could be ready to go.
Alrighty, again, we are here with Sergeant First Class Damon from the Army National Guard. You are a recruiter, and there are a lot of people, especially with the state of the economy the way it is and a lot of uncertainty going on in the political sphere, I guess you'd say. There are a lot more people, I think, now that are starting to look into service, whether it be the Army, the Marines, the Navy, the National Guard. What would you say to someone who's interested about that? How do they go about getting the correct information to make a good decision on their future?
As far as getting good information, their best bet would be to talk to a recruiter, talk to myself, talk to some of the different branches if this wasn't what they were looking for. And throughout the time that we talk, we can go through and give them different ideas of what they're eligible for and what we can do for them.
What is a typical, what do you do as a recruiter? What's a typical day in your job? Are you maybe going around to high schools, talking to kids, or for the most part, are you just kind of relatively relaxed and then you work with the Guard a couple of days out of the month?
No, I do work full-time. During the school year, we do spend a lot of time within the schools, and during the summer and stuff, we have different events, and we do, as far as our company here that we run out of Coshocton Armory, we spread over a pretty large area, and we have different events and stuff that we do. But as school's in session and stuff, we do spend a lot of time in school, or I'm up in my office doing something.
Well, and obviously the Army National Guard, proud sponsors of us here at CoshoctonCountySports.com. And one of the big stories around here locally with the Army National Guard is the construction of the new armory up on Airport Road. I have not had a chance to see it yet. I've heard some good things. So what is it that makes this new? Is it just a new building, or are there new things added to this building to make it kind of a little bit more jazzy, I guess you'd say?
As far as the building, it's been there for a couple years. They do tend to, we've been trying to do some different updates and stuff as well, but compared to what the old armory was down on Otsego, this building is one of the top-notch armories here in the state, and it houses 2 different units, which is pretty normal for most of the armories. They have different units and stuff in there, but it's just being a new facility, being right next to the airport, and with the new construction up around the airport and stuff, it's a real nice area.
On a daily basis, is there a lot that goes on in the armory, or is it kind of more of a ready station in case one of those disasters should happen to arise?
During the week, it's pretty much just a ready station. There is right around 10 full-time people that work up there, but anytime that we have something going on, or the unit 1485th has something going on, they could have 10, 12 people in there, and they're doing their job as far as getting vehicles and stuff ready, getting building stuff ready for different inspections. And every now and then, we have some of our soldiers that we enlisted in making up their drill weekend. So they come in and they help us out and pretty much take care of it that way.
Again, we are joined by Sergeant First Class Damon, who is talking to us about the Army National Guard in this area. We've talked about community. We've talked about recruiting. Is there anything else that you want to add?
A good way to get a hold of me is come up to the Armory up next to the airport, or you can go on to CoshoctonCountySports.com. We do have our own webpage on there now, so you can go on and get the link. It has all my information, or with Coshocton County Sport and the amount of schools that you guys are participating in, it covers some of the other areas that we have as well. So anytime that anybody would like to come up to the Armory or check it out, they're more than welcome to. And
it is a great career option, and you look like you're doing pretty well for yourself. And the final question that we'll do with you here, Nicholas, what was it about the Army National Guard that got you involved? And maybe for our audience out there, tell them a little bit about yourself and how you got into the entire service as it is.
Well, my grandfather was in the military during the late 50s, and then as I was growing up a little bit, my uncle was also in the Guard as well, and he was in a unit up around Youngstown. I'd spent a little bit of time with him, and he took me up to the Armory and stuff, and throughout the years, and as I got into high school, and one of my buddies had joined and brought his recruiter in and talked to him, and I said, no question, that's it, and then ended up in the same unit that my uncle was in, and went from there, and it's just been a great career. It's just everything that I do is because of the Guard, and I love the Guard, and without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
And for those of you, again, who are interested in just getting information about the Army National Guard, you can visit our website, CoshoctonCountySports.com, or head on up Airport Road. It's across 36 from Walmart all the way up to the airport. Yep. You can check out the Armory. I'm sure they don't mind anybody stopping by just to say hey. Maybe even bring a few wiffle bats. Maybe we'll have a little bit of a game out of it.
Yeah.
Sergeant First Class Nicholas Damon, thank you very much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. We thank our guests for joining us on this edition of CoshoctonCountySports.com's Sports Zone Sports Show. Be sure to check the website daily for updates, and remember, sports is local.